One of the most prevalent issues within the U.S. relates to the rights of the mass incarcerated as overpopulation, mismanagement, and oversight infringe upon the humanities of many Americans, both within and outside cell walls. Hardy and Moten describe in Undercommons a relationship between debt and credit as an unequal and misconstrued system in which debt is sold under the guise of credit, and certain debts cannot be repaid. This relationship of debt and credit persists within the criminal justice system as millions of Americans are subject to losing voting privileges thanks to the inefficiencies of local, state, and federal prisons. In general, the right to vote is a universally beloved freedom within America. However, the issue of voter suppression is notoriously controversial as people aim to make others' privileges less accessible by means of specified prejudice targeting. Subsequently, the right to vote can be viewed as a mode of credit, since it speaks to the privatization of the Indian American system, a citizenship that yields utopian liberties and bountiful economic opportunities. However, for women, people of color, and many other minority groups in America, this issuance of voting credit comes at a great unwarranted cost that greatly exacerbates their accumulation of debt. And the U.S. prison system only adds on to that pile of bad debt. The exception of Vermont, Maine, and Washington, D.C., all U.S. states adhere to a criminal justice system that strips all convicted felons of the right to vote. The degree to which one's ability to vote is revoked depends on which state you are convicted in. This is not a situation solely designed and managed by Congress. Some states only remove one's rights for the time spent in prison, while others extend that timeline even further, such as with the completion of one's parole or probation. Most extreme measures come with a post-sentencing waiting period, which is highly and predictably prone to backlog, as it perpetually delays one's ability to reinstate their constitutional rights. Despite these restrictions, ex-convicts still suffer bouts of voter suppression and an inability to integrate back into society as states and companies make it harder for reformed individuals to prosper thanks to discriminatory hiring practices and state mandates. In other words, former felons maintain an enormous and irreparable account of bad debt due to their past actions, even though they were judicially repaid under the principles of the law. These former felons are still restricted from the liberties and credits of economic prosperity and democratic voting, despite fulfilling their societal duty. A modern example can be found in a Florida bill voted on back in 2018 by the public, Voting Rights Restoration for Felons Initiative, which sought to reinstate the right to vote for most felons who had completed their sentencing, parole, or probationary period. However, not long afterwards, Florida's governor passed an amendment stating that formerly convicted Americans must pay all court-ordered fines before they can register to vote. In this example, the governor's bill effectively complicated the Voting Rights Initiative and further enlarged the account of bad debt for convicted felons, as it asked for extraneous payments that matter very little to the overarching situation in general. Additionally, most states technically offer automatic restoration of one's right to vote after you are released. However, that terminology is misleading, as one's ability to vote is not immediately restored until you personally re-register, which can yield further complications depending on which state. Moreover, the right to vote for incarcerated individuals is further complicated in regards to the prison population itself. As of 2017, 64.7% of individuals incarcerated in jails are awaiting pretrial, and many more are actually not disenfranchised, meaning that they actually still retain the right to vote. Due to their social environment, many of these people do not vote because they have either not been made aware of the rights by competent superior officers or cannot get access to a ballot or campaign website due to the limited internet and technologies within the prison space. Overall, the right to vote is a complicated issue for the masses as a whole, and it is especially unsettling for those trapped within the prison system, as the role of debt and credit is specifically skewed against them.